All right, like the song says, legends never die, and we'll see if that's the case for PLATLAS, as they did find success in game number 1, but then dropped game number 2. Tempest looking pretty clean, looking pretty strong, and I got to say that game number 2 definitely felt more like the Tempest we were expecting in this series. They were the number 1 seed coming in. They have themselves the OG of the BOL series. They have been a part of the Blue Otter League for a very long time, playing through gold, now qualifying for the Masters series. So this is what we want to see them playing at their best. We're going to be looking at this pro draft, see if they make any changes against PLATLAS for game number 3. But I gotta say, their composition, while a little bit wonky with the poke, heavy composition, seemed to work out excellently for them in game number 2.
Excellency.
little slip of the tongue.
Plug in there.
No, not quite. Not intended. I just say excellency a lot. It's not my fault, I swear.
I thought there was no swearing on stream, Jake.
I don't swear. I don't swear. Excuse me. Smartest calling me out. Well, we are straight into we're just gonna ignore him. I'll mute him, guys. It'll be a solo cast here by myself, Jay Kelton, who doesn't swear on this stream for game number 3. Tempest has swapped sides, as PLATLAS now gonna be sitting on that red side, so you should see those pro draft picks and bans coming through hot and quick. Olaf and Hecarim taking away the Silas once again. PLATLAS saying they aren't interested in fighting that, and taking away the Yumi, worth a ban, which I'm a bit surprised by, considering that while she definitely was strong in lane, I wouldn't consider her top tier enough to ban, especially considering that Tempest, being first pick, has the opportunity to grab the Aatrox for themselves in the top lane if they so desire.
Yeah, interesting to see the Olaf ban coming in there. I think the Silas, just like that, the Aatrox does come in there. You mentioned how powerful this pick is and how dominant it can be in lane. Curious to see now how PLATLAS chooses to respond to it. Personally, I've always been a very big fan of Fiora in the Aatrox, but you have to know how to play around that 4-1 type of play style. As the Alistar gets locked in along with an Ornn, and Ornn is in very interesting place, as Ornn has a very dear place in my heart.
But why don't you talk about that? In the top lane versus the Aatrox. But before level 6, definitely is a little bit of a struggle, but can have some surprising damage, especially depending on what rune you take. The great thing I love personally about it is the late game scaling possibilities. Even if you get all the way to 6 items, he's still going to be buffing teams' items throughout the game. And so you may be behind a bit of gold in a particular lane, but once you get that boost to your item, that can kind of set yourself back up to be at least even, or if you're ahead, much farther ahead in the team fights as a whole, as the Kai'Sa gets locked in. But talk about that Ornn versus Aatrox.
Well, it's more about the fact that usually you don't want to blind pick the Ornn for exactly this reason of, if Braum is available, they will take it 100%. And if they take Braum, it can basically negate you in a team fight, right? You play around your ultimate as Ornn in team fights. That's really almost all you have to offer outside of a single knockup. And when Braum can just put up his shield and just smash the giant 7 bajillion feet goat to pieces, it just doesn't matter. And while in laning phase, Aatrox and Ornn, if Ornn knows the range of Aatrox's Qs to know how to avoid the knockup and kind of path into Aatrox, it can work out pretty well for Ornn in the laning phase. Ornn does a surprising amount of damage, typically takes a lot of people by surprise from the Bellows Breath and the what is the crumpled status? I can't remember the name.
Brittle status.
Brittle, thank you. The brittle status does tons of % health damage. I don't know about the Scion ban coming in, because maybe they think it's an Ornn jungle, but I would assume that it's pretty self-explanatory. It's most likely an Ornn top lane. I would have liked to see Tempest put a ban instead on, once again, something like a Kindred or a J4. Although I think you're fine leaving the Kindred up. I think putting a ban onto something more gank oppressive like J4 would have been more valuable here. They might be flexing the Ornn though. Like maybe it's a pocket pick for
Budokas in the jungle
because they took Orianna. They left the top or jungle pick for last. So maybe it's a secret pocket pick that he has. They're sort of flexing this both ways to decide where they want to take it. But we didn't talk about the Kane coming in, who Kane is a great answer to Alistar and Ornn. If he goes red Kane, which I'm expecting him to, I like the Ashe pick. Ashe does so much for the composition here. The ultimate, the lockdown from the arrow is a great addition to Braum. They can set so much up. I love to see this coming out. I don't think enough AD carries play Ashe anymore.
Well, there's a lot of pick potential out of the Ashe, the Kane, the Braum, even Aatrox in that mid-game with his knockups. You're going to see a lot of flash Qs trying to set themselves up for the next person in line to grab a kill on, as Echo going to be the final lock-in by Tempest. Now, as we were talking a little bit about PLATLAS so far with that Ornn, there's the potential to flex to the jungle, unlikely, and we'll see what PLATLAS want to actually lock in for their final pick. But at the moment, they've got themselves a huge wombo combo with the Alistar, with the Orianna. Those two alone are so powerful, being able to have...
It is an Ornn jungle.
Tahm Kench top lane versus the Aatrox with an Ornn in the jungle, because there's no way that is a Tahm Kench jungle. There's no way. I would not see that out of PLATLAS.
It is unlikely, and Tahm Kench has been coming up a ton in the top lane, and Tahm Kench probably destroys Aatrox in lane. I personally despise Tahm Kench top. I've hated it since it came out. It's so oppressive in lane. It's so difficult to deal with. It beats Jace, it beats Fiora, it beats Teemo. You name a top laner, Tahm Kench just beats it. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Well, we'll see if that can happen this game against Great Jace on the Aatrox. Now, one of the things about Aatrox, had great success in game number 1, was banned away in game number 2, and now showing up on the side of Tempest for game number 3. Tahm Kench, great at being able to pressure, both has that ability to consume minions, spit them out for far-ranged harass, but also being able to stack up those 3 stacks of his passive, has the lick to be able to pop some extra damage in. Even though he is considered a melee champion, he has some of those ranged harass abilities. So the top side, definitely powerful from the Tahm Kench. The other thing that I like to see with him is using that ultimate, not only in the early game to try to just get back to lane and make sure that he's not losing too many minions underneath the turret, but also to make roams to other lanes. He has great gank potential as long as he gets in close enough to auto consume somebody, spit them out towards the rest of his team, make things a lot easier when it comes to those ganks. Could pair up with this Ornn, as Budapest is going to be playing on it. But now that we see this Ornn in the jungle, what are our thoughts on that? Because it's definitely not something typically taken.
Yeah, actually, I've played quite a bit of Ornn jungle. I play a lot of unconventional things.
We got an expert here, guys.
And Ornn jungle actually does really, really well. Like, your clear times are not bad at all. The brittle damage off of when you drop on the first buff, your auto takes out basically a quarter of the buff's health. It's insane. It does so much damage. You clear really, really well. The only negative thing is that you don't have great scuttle contest. You can go and try and you have good damage, but it's really hard for you to chase, right? You have your QE combo to try and get it's almost like a flag and drag sort of combination, but it's as reliable because it has a longer animation time to it. You really have to kind of play around that a little bit better. Your dragon clear time's not that great. It's hard for you to solo dragon. You clear Rift fairly alright, but I mean, if you're a team comp that says if we want to try and play on the bot side of the map, Ornn's usually not what you look for. Ornn's usually what you look for when you want to play on mid and top. So I'm curious to see how they choose to play off of that. Because they have Braum, because Tempest has Braum, they can't really play around bot lane anyway, because Braum can just eat the volcanic rupture, and it won't even matter. You can't get the knockup off. But come team fight, you have TK, you have Ornn, you have ball delivery Alistar Orianna, and a hyper carry Kai'Sa. If you are the two, you are very, very happy right now. You've got 3 tanks and an Orianna. That is every 80 carry's dream. I mean, like 4 tanks would be better, but
well, yeah. 3 tanks and an Orianna, but on top of that, they also have the Kaisa, who late game, as you said, going to have some pretty good damage there. So it's somewhat of a protect the AD or protect the carry composition coming out from PLATLAS. I really want to see, though, from the side of Tempest, whether this Kayn goes that darker mode that we're somewhat expecting him to do, because he can get not only tanky for the team and be kind of a bit of a soft 3-tank composition from Tempest with the Braum, the Aatrox, and the Kayn, but whether or not he might decide to go the Assassin route, looking to instead try to go straight for those backline carries of the Kaisa, Orianna, assassinate them, take them off of the table, and once they're gone, teamfights are so much easier and favored for the side of Tempest. But even outside of that, they also have the pick potential with that Ashe ultimate or Braum with a good Glacial Fissure to knock them up, set the team up for the collapse. So positioning is going to be critical out of PLATLAS, and that means vision control is critical. Game number 1, they definitely had a bit of an advantage there. Game number 2, they struggled a little bit, especially as they were shoved underneath their own base walls. But game number 3, we'll see if they can once again find themselves advantages with that vision, allow themselves to have those safe roams, safe movements as a team, and keep these carries safe and stacking.
Yeah, I think that we're most likely going to see a red Kayn come out of this, just because, you know, if you do go blue Kayn, you don't really have many options of who you can sort of execute. You know, again, you have TK, Ornn, and Alistar as a front line. It's hard to get past that. So I'm expecting a Conqueror red Kayn to come out. A couple of quick things I want to point out. Zion, Athenian, we'll run down the roster in just a second here, but is taking Ignite on the Tompkins top lane. Might just look to play on his ultimate instead of a teleport, and go for the aggressive laning phase. And Duck Solo has elected to take Ignite in the mid lane instead of TP on Echo.
Well, that was successful with him with the Yasuo in game number 2, being able to come out with some good leads there. But before we get too much further, let's run through who the players are playing in this game, because they are on a handful of new champions. Great Jace for the side of Tempest on the blue side, taking the Aatrox this time to the top side of the map. Zohair on the Kayn, looking for a little bit of a different look than the Sejuani so far in the series. Duck Solo with the Echo in the mid lane. Come on, shoot faster. Ashe ADC. Come on, shoot
Jake.
faster. Just having fun with it. And Cardi on the Braum in the supportive role.
And for Tempest, we have, PLATLAS. Swap sides. We have Zion Athenian on the Tom Kench top. Budicus running the jungle. Weenie Hot Jugo on the Orion in the mid lane. The Tooper on Kaisa 80 carry, and Nala and Pepper on the Alistar support.
All right, so as you look at the overall compositions, you're getting yourself some pretty nice wombo combo from PLATLAS side, especially with that Orianna Alistar. Looking for some big all-ins, especially if they can get the Call of the Forge God out of the Ornn to set up those plays, as long as it's not blocked immediately by the wall out of the Braum. That said, from the side of Tempest, they've got themselves a pretty good pick with that Enchanted Crystal Arrow out of the Ashe, or the Echo being able to jump in, trying to get some of those stuns down. But outside of that, just basics. Let's look a little bit deeper. What are you seeing between these two teams?
So a couple switch-ups I noticed. First of all, Zohair has opted for a more damage-based jungler, going on the Kayn, which I have mixed sort of feelings about. You know, we've seen him sort of play the farm game early, and you know, about a season ago, they changed Kayn to where, in order to get your form early, you actually have to get into fight. Right? You get more stacks early in the game as you put pressure, you fight these champions. So I'm curious to see how that ends up working out for Zohair, if he sort of changes his playstyle this time around, or if he does, in fact, just stick to the I'll play in the jungle, I'll see you at 28 minutes with a playstyle, which, while yes, Kayn is a damaged jungler, and that works well for him in a sense. Specifically for Kayn, you need stacks. You gotta get your form. You gotta get your Draken. So, I mean, I want to see if he switches it up this time around. I want to see him sort of be the MVP of this particular game for his team. The last game we saw Duck Solo and Great Jace just popping off. I want to see this be like Zohair's game, just his time to shine. You know, he's playing the Kayn, he's got the setup, he has everything. The team composition, it says Kayn is our guy to look to. Kayn and Braum are our people to look to. You know, we have true damage conquer Kayn, and we have Braum to eat the
Call the Forge God out of the Ornn.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry, I stole it away.
Forge God. He stole it away. That's all right. But early on, I want to see Zohair actually look towards the bot side of the map. They have Alistar, yes, but I think that's where he's going to find the easiest time getting stacks. If Zion chooses to push into Great Jace, I think Zohar can look for opportunities on the top side of the map, but I'm expecting Great Jace to actually push it into Zion. So we'll see how that all plays out. And honestly, I mean, he could even go in the jungle and look for 1v1s with Buddha, because while neither of them do tons of damage early on, he's still going to give him the stacks he needs. Like, it is his goal is just to stack up.
Fantastic volley out of Come On Shoot Faster, making sure to slow everyone from PLATLAS in as they were looking at maybe trying to make a play onto the Braum. Bit of a support, not to worry though. Everyone from the side of PLATLAS able to back away after taking just a little bit of poke damage. We'll see what the side of Tempest can do as the Aatrox and the Echo trying to maybe make a play of their own. Okay, they're not going to go for the red buff. We saw very beginning game number 1, PLATLAS did a similar thing where they sent the top lane and jungler into the enemy team top lane area, finding themselves not only a flash but the early red buff. Not going to happen yet again. And now as we are loading into game 1, to just welcome everyone. This is game number 3 in the best of 5 series for the Blue Otter Platinum League Finals. We are tied up 1-1 so far. So everything even back out again. Both teams playing a little bit more patiently. Maybe. We'll see. As game number 1 started off fairly slow. There was a lot of just farming and stacking as both teams were trying to wait until they find themselves a little bit of an advantage. And now in game number 3, find ourselves in a similar situation in which there is just every single kill can be critical in trying to find a win lead over your opponent.
Yeah, and interesting enough, Great Jace elected to start Doron shield here, so really he might have been expecting quite a bit of autos from Zion, but he has been able to put a lot of good damage down onto Athena in the top lane, landing quite a few of his Darkened Blade hit shots. So though a Tongue Lash Zion did retaliate with the Tongue Lash there, so good poke coming on both sides. Orianna does sort of dictate how the laning phase goes between herself and Echo. Echo has a hard time closing the gap and being reliable and engaged. Orianna has great kiting abilities, and also her auto do tons of damage because of Clockwork windup. So I think...
Oh, hold on. Kayn chasing in. Gonna get knocked up by Ornn. However, the red buff coming in. There's a momentary pause for the moment, so I might have to speed up after the fact. We're gonna wait for that reset to come through. There we go. Zohar getting a little bit of damage, but both junglers have the double buff. There's the brittle stacks, forcing the flash over the wall from Zohar, and it looks like the K will be able to escape with that flash, costing him dearly in trying to invade. Didn't steal away the enemy team red buff and lost his flash, so very small advantage from PLATLAS so far.
Yeah, but like I said, he had to blow a flash, that was unfortunate. I don't think either he didn't have point down Burrow dash, or sorry, into a shadow step, or didn't utilize it. But he did get some stacks off. Like, the melee stacks is what he needs. Wish he'd have to blow a flash for it, but if he keeps it over and over again, that actually works out in his favor.
All right, well, now we have Ornn. Hold on, Alistar making a play on the bottom side of the map. The supercharge from the Kai'Sa trying to get close enough. Braum getting a great, massive stand behind me to the Ashe, but able to deflect a lot of the incoming attacks that were potential from the Tupper on the bottom side with that Kai'Sa. Duck solo in that mid lane, down to about half health, dealing with the harass you talked about with that Orianna. Ornn is stealing away the enemy team Gromp. You can see Budakust making, trying to gain more leads against this Kayn, punishing him for his earlier invade, and has a little bit of a CS lead to show for it.
Yeah, and you can tell this is just kind of how Budakust likes to play. He loves to play his invade sort of play styles. I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen Tempest sort of pick up on that yet and start getting some defensive vision out early on to watch for it and be ready to react to it, which is what I think a good adaptation I would have liked to see come out of them in this series.
All right, well, we are tied up in gold overall. Orianna low on mana in the mid lane, but we're going to see some level 6s in these solo lanes start to come through a little bit, especially in this top lane. Hold on, it's actually a level 5 Town Kench to level 4 Aatrox, so he should be up to level 5 once that wave crashes. In the bottom lane, Ornn trying to make a play. There's the Alistar knock up onto the Ashe, forcing her to flash. However, he's going to get a knock up onto the Braum himself, and that should be Cardi falling here in just a moment. There's that flash coming through as the pause will finish off. This is a momentary lag there. Come on, shoot faster, getting a couple more auto attacks down, but you see 3 summoner spells burned by the side of Tempest in this bottom lane just to deal with Ornn, who's pinged out, might be coming right back around again for another engage. He's seen by the Braum though, so backs away.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, that was a really good flash from Cardi there. If he hadn't been able to dodge the Void Seeker there, probably would have died from it. So crucial timing on the flash there.
All right, just to double check, the time is the same at the moment. What is your time at the moment?
37, 38, 39.
If you could slow down for just a second, I think we'll be paired pretty well, as I'm currently 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50.
Perfect.
Cool. All right.
Sync.
Should be good. Not exactly sure what's going on with that, but as long as we are in sync, that's what matters most importantly. There's a little bit of pause, but now the action is going to start once again as Alistar getting a little bit of poke on the bottom side, a little bit of knock up onto the Braum. However, great Unbreakable Shield once again stops the Acathian Rain from the Kaisa coming through, and they just are able to actually take a step forward now. They are down a little bit in health comparatively to PLATLAS, but they are up a level, and that's why they can just step forward still with this aggression.
Yeah, it looks like Zohair was able to steal away the Krugs. Like I said, they want this fight.
Oh, they're moving in onto Budakis, forcing the flash out of the Ornn. Back to the bottom side we go as the Alistar going to be jumping in once again, finding the stun onto the Braum, but now the top side of the map. That's going to be the Tahm Kench, though. He's got the shield with the great health, keep himself alive. Great Jace on the run. Duck Solo coming to the top side. Going to get first blood. Now can turn onto Zothair. Oh, great shockwave out of the Orianna, but doesn't find much with it. And you can see that despite Weenie rotating to the top side of the map, they lose both jungler and top laner. 2 quick kills for Tempest.
Yeah, and that worked out. That is exactly what they needed. Not only that, but again, Zohair was able to find more melee stacks. Both Ornn and TK are melee champions, getting more red stacks going for Draken form. I think that could not have gone better. I think he got a double kill onto the Echo, who, we saw just how well Solo did when he found an early lead. He just took that lead and took off with it. If they can find the same sort of same place out of this game, I think they'll do really, really well into this into this composition here. Because with Echo, right, if the enemy team is forced to build MR against Echo, it's just free reign for Aatrox and Ashe because they do so much AD damage between the two of them. I think having Echo get ahead for their composition is probably the best outcome for them. Unfortunately, Cannon missed there. Cannon does go down to the enemy minion.
The minions destroying the cannon, destroying the gold you can get. Talking about that Echo, though, absolutely having an edge in snowballing is huge. It allows you to use your ultimate to actually go aggressively and then ult backwards safely. Here's that call. The Forge God on the bottom side of the map, blocked by the Braum. However, they're still going to find the Ashe, and now can chase in on the rest of the team. The Kayn is here. Zohair around the corner as a momentary freeze comes through. There it is. Kayn making the engage onto the Alistar. Going to go ahead and throw the ult in. The Ignite ticking away. Nala may go down. There it is. The drop as that Kayn going to be able to pick it up and flash underneath the turret. The chase from the Kaisa, though. She's going to use the true, the killer instinct, setting up for Orianna to come to the bottom side and find the kill. Taking 2 turret shots, though. Has to use the command protect as Echo chasing in. Going to jump immediately onto the Kaisa, force out the flash. The Ignite is ticking away. This should be a kill over to Echo, who ults backwards. There's the Ignite ticking down. Finishes off the Kaisa. Now Ornn with the knockup, dropping down the Echo. The Orianna getting the kill credit. So it was a bloody fight in the bottom lane, but in the end ended up a 2-for-3 trade over. No, 2-for-2, as it was just the Ashe. No, I think Kayn went down as well. So 2-for-3 trade in favor of PLATLAS. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that all started with the fact that Nala and Pepper and Tupper had level 6, the level 6 advantage over Shoot Faster and Cardi. As we see a roaming Alistar, I love to see supports roam like this. Get vision down. Oh.
Checking in with the top side of the map, seeing what's going on there. Nala has that ability with the Hex Tech Flash to try to just continue to make some of these plays, especially from the jungle. However, unable to do much as Tahm Kench was kind of getting shoved underneath the turret and didn't necessarily want to tangle with the Aatrox just yet. You can see that Tahm Kench only really has a defensive item at this moment. So Zion Athenian waiting for a couple more backs and opportunities to pick up a big first item of the game. The Kaisa has completed off her Man Immune at the moment, so we'll wait for that to stack up in the bottom side of the map. But with that 1 kill, you can see, though, that the Orianna in the mid lane, Juggo, picking up those 2 kills on the bottom side of the map, now close to even against the Echo because she also has a pretty decent CS lead, pushing about 15 CS over the Echo.
Yeah, however, is it the point now where it's easier for Echo to clear the... Oh, is Alistar trying to engage?
Oh, we'll see what happens. I'm actually a little bit behind you again somehow. I'm not sure how that happened. Alistar going and looking for the play, but again, the Braum just going to tank up throughout that Glacier Fissure, knock up the Kaisa. And yeah, not really concerned there as, again, Cardi doing a fantastic job of absorbing these engages by the Alistar and then just kind of poking them back, allowing Ashe to continue just to free farm. However, the Kaisa does have a CS lead over Ashe, so we'll see how the rest of these continue in the bottom lane. I'm not really sure about overall the engages from the Alistar are working out. A little bit of fight on the top side of the map. The Kayn coming in, saying hi. We're going to call the Forge God. Not going to be able to find much use with it. Just saying hi to Kayn as he heads back into the jungle.
Right. Now, as we have a quick minute to cool down, I am at 44, 45, 46. Where are you at?
Caught up.
Caught up. All right.
As the Alistar engages the bottom side, we always pair up just as the play happens at the bottom side of the map. Stun for stun between the supports who are both tanky. And again, the ADCs just get a little bit of poke and then back away. Ooh, Kai'Sa wants to trade up on that one. Gets a good Cathy in range to drop Ashe to about half health. And she's going to immediately start drinking those potions to get back up.
Yeah, this new Manimune build has been really doing wonders for Kai'Sa. CC, like, basically every single Kai'Sa go this route now. Does really allows her to a little cheeky Hex Flash coming in. Really lets her sort of abuse the like you said, the KT rain as well as the Void Seekers, and which really crucial for Kai'Sa, who actually does a lot of base damage.
Oh, Buddha seen by the Kayn, gonna still come down to the bottom side of the map. We'll see if the Buddha actually wants to make a play, considering that he doesn't have Call the Forge God. No, he will not, and just backs away. Not really doing not able to do that much to set up his bottom lane. You can see, though, both teams, game number 1, game number 2, there was a huge amount of focus around the Drakes of the game. This time, things have been a little bit slower as people have been focused more on finding those advantages in the lanes themselves. But now the Ornn and the Alistar are both going to roam up, control some vision around the Ocean Drake. Orianna can help out dropping that control ward, but Kayn just around the corner could try to go in and clear up that vision as well.
I just want to comment on the fact that, you know, while I was mentioning how strong TK is and typically how impressive he is in this lane, Great Jace has played this lane phase really well.
Oh, negate to the Alistar. Okay, again,
every time headbutts off cooldown, he's looking.
Yeah.
Every time.
Well, he might be regretting that on cooldown as Kayn coming around. He is seen, though, by the wards, and Ornn is around the corner. Cathy and Rain going to drop the Braum down a little bit. Glacial Fissure will knock up the Kai'Sa. She has the ultimate available, so she can kill her instinct. There it is to get underneath the turret, and the two-man knockup by the Alistar. Kayn going to go ahead and throw out that ultimate, however, still falls down to the Ignite as a Shockwave paired with the Ornn dashing in are going to be able to find another one. Jogo takes out the Ashe. The Alistar will follow the Aatrox TP'd in as well, and now Echo shows up. They've been able to find two right back. The Orianna trying to dodge out the Aatrox, who flashes in to make sure that he's able to claim that kill. And ladies and gentlemen, outside of Zion, who wasn't even here for the fight, it's an ace for the side of Tempest. They lose 2, but they find themselves huge success and can now look for first turret of the game or just a couple of plays, considering they were only at the 13-minute mark.
Yeah, much have to back off here as Zion is defending the power. And again, you know, as I was mentioning just like mere seconds ago, really got to give Great Jace a lot of props here. He sort of turned that whole fight around single-handedly, having the TP advantage, right? Again, Zion has Ignite. Was not able to get into the fight right away. Great Jace TPing into the fight, found a great pick right onto Tupra, I believe, and then followed up by picking up Jugo as well. But it looks like Vitalist wants his dragon right off the bat. But however, Tempest is in position to potentially look for a steal here.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I was surprised that Tempest didn't rotate for the Ocean Drake first, though. Alistar knocking back the Kayn. There it is. The smite by Ornn grabbing that Ocean Drake, once again controlled by PLATLAS, but that headbutt out of the Alistar just so good at being able to say, nope, you don't get a chance to smite this Ocean Drake away.
Denied. What time are you at, Jake?
Catching up once again. I think maybe this time you should try to slow down again to meet me at 14, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay.
All right.
I think it's honestly on my side.
We're in sync now.
I think my internet is just a little bit slow. Somebody else is maybe eating up the internet by playing League on a different computer, but that is all right.
How dare they?
How dare they, right? Casting is more important than playing League of Legends, even though I wouldn't be able to cast without people playing League of Legends, but it is quite all right.
Chicken or the egg?
Ooh, tough one.
First.
In the top lane, that Tahm Kench, though, showing up. Down a little bit of CS against the Aatrox, who now with those 2 kills should be able to freely push into the Tahm Kench, shove him underneath that turret, make Zion's life a little bit difficult. Might need to call on the jungler to come in and help out there, but it is roam potential for Tempest around this Rift Herald that is up and available at the moment. They're going to back away from it, though, not wanting to tangle with the Orianna and the Ornn who were there. And this is something to note, that Luden's Echo has been completed by Orianna, so you can see in the bottom lane, it definitely hurt when she dropped that shockwave. And now Kayn, it didn't work out well for him last time around. He's able to steal the Infernal, or the red buff, I think, this time. I can't see if Ornn actually has it on him. Yes, he does not, so he has to back away. Headbutts into a wall, but Kayn was already hidden. And Zohair finds himself the kill he was looking for earlier, feeling a lot better about that. It's only a 2,000 gold lead for Tempest, but once again, they're in control of the game. Ooh.
Yeah, you know, Red Kayn running Conqueror. Whoa, fancy feet.
Enchant Crystal Arrow, we're coming right by the Orianna. There might have been a chance to play there with Echo coming in, but a little bit mispositioned, or a little bit good position out of the Orianna, as hold on, top side of the map, Tahm Kench gets the consume and the spit onto Great Jace, but now has to run because Kayn is here. The CC chain, knock up into knock up, and that is another death. Ignite ticks away in the mid lane as Duck solos out the Orianna and takes her down as well. Kills all over the map in favor of Tempest as they just continue to crank up the pace. Like Alistar Gage in the bottom lane. Hold on one more time as the Cathian Rain from the Kai'Sa. She's going to use the Killer Instinct. Maybe this is an opportunity for PLATLAS to find a kill back. The Ashe is so low. Ignite ticks away, but it's not going to be enough to take her down. The Kai'Sa, not interested in chasing just yet. Could maybe use the Void Seeker to try to catch Ashe. She's going to get a volley to slow two members down. Brum walking the opposite direction, pulling the Kai'Sa away. Throws the Unbreakable. He will die to the minions, but he saved his ADC. Absolutely crucial in the top lane. Aatrox drops that turret in the top lane for first turret of the game, and then solos Ornn out for yet another kill. 3-0 again, punishing PLATLAS for not banning away the Aatrox when they had the opportunity. And now the flash out of the Alistar, the bottom lane. A Cathian Rain from the Kai'Sa will give her that second kill as Ashe did not back away, instead greeted for a couple more minions, gets punished for that. But that is small toppings for the side of PLATLAS, because they are looking pretty skinny at the moment with all the kills that Tempest just picked up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they put that all around. You know, I was mentioning a couple points. I mentioned that A, give Duck Solo a lead, he'll take off with it, which is exactly what's happened. And B, I want to see Zohair be more proactive, which we've seen. You know, took red form, went for the invade, found Buddha, soloed him out, came right back around, picked up Zion. Like I mentioned, that I want to see Zohair being the MVP of this game, and he's actually stepping up to the batter. It's like to the batting spot this time. English
to the plate. He stepped up to the plate. I think that's what you're looking for.
Plate, yes.
He's definitely he's definitely stepped up well in this game, but I also got to give some credit to a great Jace with a great TP to the bottom side of the map, setting him up with a decent lead there, and then being able to take that into securing not only the first turret of the game, but now some extra kills as well. Alistar, you talked about the roaming support. Nala on the roam to the top side of the map. The Kai'Sa coming out of lane 3, 2, and 3 is actually pretty decent and kind of the saving grace for PLATLAS at the moment, but they need to put a lot more gold onto this Orianna and onto this Kai'Sa if they actually want to find victory in these bigger team fights that are now going to start with those turrets dropping.
Yeah, and itemization is really important for that, right? Like, I actually don't like the way Zion has... comes down.
Yeah, Jugo might be God. Throws out the shockwave. We'll see if that's enough. Not nearly. A great ultimate by Echo to reset the turret shot. Focus onto Braum instead. Call the Forge God out of the Ornn. Should be able to get a couple knockups. They might actually try to save the turret. He was trying to stop the Rift Herald from spawning, but Shelly will destroy the first tier turret. Could roam into the second turret. However, 3 members of PLATLAS are here to try to defend it. They will distract Shelly and make sure they only lose 1 turret. However, the next Ocean Drake is starting to spawn. The Hex Flash from the Alistar, opposite direction of over the wall. It's a Mountain Drake. PLATLAS picked up the first one as the Tahm Kench going to be roaming down. We'll see, though, how much trouble Zion Athenian is in as he's roaming, trying to get to the rest of his team. Pops a great health, still sitting at half the TP coming in from the Orianna. This is the opportunity to make the play. She's going to come in. We'll see if she's able to use the shockwave. No, it's still on cooldown. The TP in leads to a complete wipe and an ace for the side of Tempest. What was that TP out of Orianna into the middle of the enemy? And Aatrox Jace just destroys all of PLATLAS.
Honestly, that whole play was Duck Solo getting a full team parallel convergence. A full team stun. Locked him down, and the AoE from Zohair from Great Jace coming in just wiped the team. 5-man stun.
unbelievable movement and confidence out of Tempest. You saw the Orianna fall in the bottom lane. She used the shockwave fruitlessly underneath the turret, hoping to maybe delay a little bit longer. Didn't have it up, then TP's in to join the rest of the team. It was a good delay by Zion Athenian, but everyone just pinches so tight within the walls of the jungle, allowing the parallel convergence out of the Echo. And then you saw the Ashe on the side just free shooting everyone. She is going to be doing massive damage. She'd already finished off the Blade of the Ruined King, now able to pick up a couple more items, but really it was all about the Echo and the Aatrox, who said, you know what, we do a lot of damage in very small areas, and you're all packed on top of each other. If the Orianna had Shockwave, could have been an entirely different fight, but didn't have it, and that led to disaster for PLATLAS.
Also, Tupper getting caught in the stun from Echo, and then eating the majority of the damage from Aatrox is crucial there, because Tupper was getting ready to start popping off. He had just coming out of excuse me, Supercharge, had the autos winding up ready to go, but just got locked down as soon as he walked into the fight and just got deleted. As you mentioned, if he hadn't gotten caught by the stun, if Jugo was able to find the shockwave, then maybe it would have gone differently, but you got to give credit to both Duck Solo and Great Jace. Again, from last game to this game, both these players have been the star players for Tempest, just popping off.
Now, as we're looking at a 7,000 gold lead for Tempest, they're definitely pretty strong. There is things. Oh, hold on. There's going to be a fight at the top side. A great knockback, though, in the shockwave onto two members, but it doesn't hurt anyone. Orianna doesn't have the damage yet. Nala going to be caught out. Soloed off to the side. Buddha won't even get the Call of the Forge God knockup. Is going to have to flash away. Try to take the blast cone to safety. Nala and Pepper tanking up forever against the Ashe, but still falls. And that is 4 quick members dropping. Tempest just catching him out in the jungle. They have the advantage in items. They have the advantage in tempo and vision. PLATLAS, what are you doing? That is going to lead to a very easy Baron for Tempest to pick up, and probably a closure in game number 3 to the side of Tempest. And PLATLAS is going to have to really think hard about what they want to do for game number 4, because at the moment, game number 2 and 3 did not go their favor in really any way whatsoever.
Yeah, really have to kind of look to, I mean, as much as you hate to say it, you have to look to Zion Athenian here and say, kind of, what happened this game, right? Like, you took an aggressive summer, you took Ignite into a lane, and you still lost it. You're not grouping with your team. Your team has been forced into 4v5s for the last 10 minutes. You haven't been ulting into fights. You itemized a Righteous Glory first, but you're not grouping with your team. Now, there's so many things to talk about there. I really think, you got to look back and say, okay, maybe we need to bring this guy back to game 1. Bring him back to champions that he's more comfortable with maybe. TK top has been something that's been coming out very recently. It's not something that's as easy to execute off. When you gave him Aatrox, you did really well with the Aatrox. I think give him maybe, in the next game, I think you really have to say, okay, maybe we need to put on an 80 champion like Aurelia or Aatrox or Jace or something like that, and get him away from these passive laners that he seems to be struggling with.
Oh, we'll see if that comes through. We did see them, the side of PLATLAS, on the blue side of picks and bans for game number 2. However, the Aatrox was banned against them that game, so they had to run with something a little bit different. We'll see if maybe in game number 4 they can find a little bit more of an advantage. You saw that Scion in game number 2, that huge tank, but without that much aggression, didn't work out so well. And now we see only one middle inhibitor down, but the bottom lane inhibitor going to be targeted up next. Call the Forge God going to be used by Ornn, trying to... No, misses it again! What are these plays as the side of PLATLAS? They have just run out of energy. The gas tank is empty. Budokiss walking away with a sliver of health. Members of Tempest are taking away Nexus turrets in the meantime, as Come On Shoot Faster is destroying an inhibitor turret. There it does go down. The inhibitor up next. They have lost the Aatrox for his over-aggression, pushing into the Nexus turrets, but that allows themselves to get not only the bottom lane inhibitor turret, but now pushing in with a huge minion wave. They don't even have super minions, it's just cannon minions. Goodbye to Nexus tier turret 2, and they can move straight onto the Nexus itself. And Enchanted Crystal Arrow locking up Orianna for a moment. Kayn gonna get the knockup as well, but they don't want the kills, they want the game, and Tempest will smash PLATLAS for their second victory in this best of 5 series.
Yeah, that was a much more convincing victory coming out of Tempest there. There wasn't nearly as much back and forth as we saw in game number 2.
So, game 1, pretty close, and then went very well in favor of Atlas, who just played around the team as a whole, the team composition, what they wanted to do, finding themselves those advantages and finding themselves the win. Game number 2, Tempest wins the laning phase, and just a classic snowball, rolled it slow and steady into a victory. Game number 3, PLATLAS tries to make the occasional play, and Tempest just slaps them for it. Bot lane did okay for PLATLAS. You gotta say that the Kai'Sa and Alistar, the Kai'Sa came out of lane 3-1, not bad. Could have had a little bit of a better time down there, but into the very safe lane of the Ashe and Braum. Not bad overall, but everywhere else from PLATLAS just fell apart. The jungle, the mid, the top, that swap from the Ornn being in the top lane into the jungle did not work out for PLATLAS. We want to see them draft a better composition for game number 4.
Absolutely. And again, I mean, one of the biggest factors for me was the lack of TP in the top lane, right? You had Zion Athenian always in a side lane, never in any of the fights, despite building for team fights, building the righteous glory, building for these sort of engage, walk-in sort of play style plays, but it's just never there. I think that was a huge turn, right? The biggest turn point in the game was when Aatrox TP'd into the bot lane. If TK was also able to do it, maybe it didn't go that severely in Tempest's favor. So really, again, like you gotta question the Ignite, because if Zion Athenian smashed lane because he had Ignite, took advantage of that and was just dominating his lane, that's a different story. But that's not what we saw happening. We saw Zion Athenian getting pushed into his tower and harassed the entire game. I think you have to take that, think about it, go to the next game, saying, okay, we need to draft differently. We have to draft more aggressive. We have to play the advantage of our players, figure out what worked game 1, why did it work, let's go back to that.
All right, well, we're going to take a very quick break as it looks like the teams are getting ready for game number 4. We'll see if the side of PLATLAS can find their way back into what gave them those advantages in game 1 and attempt at advantages in game number 2. But at the moment, we may be looking at the 3rd win in a row for Tempest. We'll have to see whether or not that comes true as we are taking a very quick break. We'll be right back.